Do you think that the lifestyle branding and the message that the consumers want to see who the CEO is and what's the brand behind it, what's the mission behind the brand, and if you're doing charitable works and all this other kind of stuff, do you think that's being primarily driven because millennials are making up such a significant portion of the purchasing population?
So I'm going to write down a note real quick so that I make sure and hit both parts of that because I think there's two separate answers in your question. One of them is going to be the lifestyle branding itself, and then the other thing was the marketing. So specifically the lifestyle branding, I think largely lifestyle branding is kind of bullshit. It's super overdone and overplayed at this point.
Yeah.
For a lifestyle, for a brand to be able to take lifestyle marketing and really make it work for themselves, is their products have to actually be a lifestyle product, right? Everyone just, it's kind of like it's just one of those overused terms now. It's like, oh well, how do you want to market your brand? Well, I want it to be a lifestyle brand. Okay, but like you just say lifestyle, what does that mean, right? Does your product fit the lifestyle mold? Like what type of lifestyle is your product adding value to?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just one of those kind of cliche words. It's like, oh, lifestyle. But that's my thoughts on lifestyle branding. But I mean, obviously, if you have an actual product that adds value to the lifestyle of someone, so like Aspire, right? That was a lifestyle product because that was made for busy execs, students, people like ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that added value to someone's lifestyle. Instead of throwing down 16 energy drinks a day, they could use Aspire, and it'll really keep them pumping and focused and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So it would be like an example of how a lifestyle product would match that branding. Now, as far as what do I think about the millennials and the lifestyle aspect of it? Yeah, dude. I mean, the millennials are really, really shaping the market. They're shaping. I guess because we're millennials, right?
I see. I almost cringe whenever somebody says that because in my mind, and maybe it's not this way in the general populace, but in my mind, I always have the vision of a millennial as just being a slacker that expects to have everything handed to them because their parents did the work and they're ready for the rewards now instead of being willing to put in the work now. And I know that's probably not the case, but that's the stereotype I've always had in my head. And I've always just kind of cringed when somebody says, yeah, you're a millennial. I just think, ooh.
Right, for sure. It's funny because, no matter what, I think a lot of that is perpetuated by the generation before us. So like the baby boomers, like, oh, you guys have it so easy. But the generation before them are like, oh, you guys have it so easy. So it's like every single time we have to be like harder working and far more superior than the generation, after us. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of that is kind of, I mean, definitely millennials are a pain in the ass, but we're millennials. Yes, we are millennials on the older end of it, but we're really shaping how marketing is done. I mean, you're looking at affiliate marketing, you're looking at social media marketing, all that sort of stuff, and you're having to kind of play with how your messaging comes across, the channels that you utilize as far as the marketing aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, where do they want to be found? Do you read a lot of your emails? I know I don't really go into my email that much, so email marketing may not be as strong of a play for the millennial demographic.
Gotcha.
They want to be found on social media, so that's why you market to social media, Instagram, and even Facebook, right? They're leaving Facebook.
Right.
They're going to Instagram. So yeah, millennials are really defining it, and one of the big things that you mentioned is like value driven, right? So maybe that's where people are always like, well, it's lifestyle, right? We'll show if we have our brand positioned as a lifestyle brand, it'll show that there's value. But for a lifestyle brand to really work, you actually have to offer value to the lives of the consumers that you want to try and attract. And then, you have to position the branding right. But everything that we're seeing is, it is very value driven. Like millennials want to see that their company is, their environment, they're paying attention to the environment. They're doing things that are, that aren't just things actually that aren't really easily duplicated by these larger corporations, right? Which is why some of these mom and pop brands or some of these Instagram brands and smaller brands are able to, like Dollar Shave Club, that adds value and it shook up a whole entire industry, right? But it's because that they're able to kind of pivot and do stuff that the larger brands aren't. But a lot of it is based on the value-driven millennial generations and even the Generation Z.
That's coming
cats.
up behind it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think with this influx of kind of younger pitch marketing, do you think that's alienating some of like the 35 plus supplement consumers, like the 35 to 50-year-old guys that are still hitting the gym, like the ones that were hitting their prime in like the late 80s and early 90s when supplements were just really starting to get their legs? Do you think they've kind of this new marketing push has kind of turned them off? Do you think?
No, man, because smart brands are going to position to their target demographic is, right?
Hmm.
So if you're specifically trying to like, I would imagine that a brand that's created, to specifically target millennials isn't go. Maybe there'll be some spillover, but they're not going to really be marketing aggressively towards the 35 and 50 year olds. But a brand like, let's say, what's that one, Vintage Labs or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, there are more marketing based towards the 35 to 50 year olds or like golden era nutrition or something like that. I see some of these once in a while. I don't have a lot of time to research new brands,
Hmm.
but I think that, the big thing is that they're just, if, you know, they're going to be marketed towards, and again, back to like your channels, they'll be heavily marketed more on like Facebook, right?
Right.
Um, so they'll just be where the 35 to 50 year olds are, but I don't think they're getting alienated. The smart brands will just market specifically to them and have maybe a campaign that's specifically targeted towards the 35 to 50 year olds on Facebook
Hmm.
or something that's more along the lines of what they would want to see.